It was Gillie da Kid's birthday when his son got hit up, man. Condolences to YNG Cheese. Now that they got his sole suspect, they arrested him, man. They tracked him down and found the fingerprints that was in that SUV. They pulled over that SUV and found the getaway driver and got him to basically tell on the dude that did it, or else he was going to have to face 100 years. They was really pressing the streets, man, because they were trying to get justice for YNG Cheese. And I want to shout out to Gilly and Wallo, man. Condolences, because Gilly and Wallo was highly upset. They were ready to start going back to their old ways and actually slide on the block and in the hood. They was going to go slide on North Philly to all the haters or anybody that had any problems with them and really tell them like what's up and how it is, because they were willing to risk it all and lose that 100 million just to find out who did that to YNG Cheese, Gillie da Kid's son, man. And you can't blame him for that, man. If a father loses his son like that, this is something that you can't replace. So, of course, they're going to feel that way. Of course, they're going to be ready to do whatever, man. But at the end of the day, it's a good thing that he held it down. Wallo calmed him down. Wallo was really the supporting feature in this thing, because if it wasn't for Wallo, Gillie da Kid, who knows what he would have done, man. He might went out there and did something that would have been totally crazy and that he wasn't supposed to do. And so it's a good thing that Gillie da Kid has people like Wallo on his side so that he could consult him and counsel him through this hard times, basically through the trials and the tribulations that are going on currently after losing his son. It's such a hardship and such a tough thing to lose because of the fact that it was such a senseless, tragic situation, man. And I want you guys to realize the fact that YNG Cheese, he had a lot of friends. He had a lot of family members that care about him. This is something that you cannot replace. That's why you have to treasure every minute and moment of your loved ones and people that you care about, because at one moment, people could be here and then gone the next moment. YNG Cheese was just trying to have a good time and visit his friends. He was back in town. He was already doing a lot of stuff with his music. He was busy at work. He was helping his dad and everything. One small little mistake changed the whole thing and made the dominoes fall a different way. Yeah, if he was with Gillie da Kid in the studio, it would have been one thing. If they were, maybe they didn't even get a chance to interview YNG Cheese on the podcast. He was supposed to be the next guest. He was supposed to come on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast and actually speak about his music. And it was going to push him to the next level of being a superstar, man. Coming out of Philly, it's a lot of big rappers like Uzi and Meek Mill and everything. YNG Cheese was going to be next up. You know that they was going to have him on the podcast to talk about him. Wallo was super excited for YNG Cheese's future. And this is why it hit Wallo super hard, man, because Wallo was trying to tell the youngins what to do to get out the streets. Wallo just did 20 years. He did a big bid, 20 years in the feds. And so he was trying to tell people the lessons that he had learned in this time, not to be like him, not to risk it and all that. He was really close to Young Cheese and he was really close to Gilly and everything. He wanted the best for his entire family because they held it down. When Wallo came home, Gillie da Kid took him in. He let him stay with him. He let him actually be with his family, and they started a whole new thing. And that's why they were so clicked up and tied together that they started the business with the podcast. Gillie da Kid's son, he knew from that moment on that Gilly and Wallo was going to be big. That's why he started his entire music career, because he knew that they was going to have the platform and be able to have a lot of people watching, and them three was going to do something special. And this is why Gillie da Kid and Wallo, they're actually commemorating the whole entire podcast in honor of YNG Cheese and everything. Devin, Spady. You got to remember, at the end of the day, his name was Devin Spady, and that's why we got to say their names loud and clear. We got to give people their flowers before they're gone, and we want to send our condolences and everything like that. And the dudes that got caught for this whole entire thing, man, they was wrong for this. They was super wrong for this, and basically they're gonna get a lot of karma coming back on them, because when they go in and they find out in a slammer that they're the ones that did this to YNG Cheese, the celly, everybody's gonna get them. When they go to the mess hall, when they eat chow, when they lined up in the shower, the people are gonna send a message saying that they rocking with Gilly and Wallo, and they don't appreciate or anything that the people that hit up Gillie da Kid's son YNG Cheese did. And so they might end up getting hit up while they behind bars or something, because that happens all the time, especially when it's somebody like Gillie da Kid's son. Gillie da Kid is a superstar, and so a lot of people behind bars grew up with Gillie da Kid, so they're gonna be mad at the dudes that did this. So when they come in, they might do something to them, and that's why a lot of people are looking at it like, man, they clearly messed up because Gillie da Kid's son did not deserve this, and the people that did this, they're not gonna get away with it, man. They already got caught up, and they're gonna have the street justice served to them, on top of the fact that they're gonna get justice for YNG Cheese for everything happening, man. They're looking at throwing the whole book at them. They might get anywhere from 25 to life to 300 years. On top of that, a lot of things that went on. It was a situation where this could have been avoided. They did not need to go that far, man. They kept hitting him and everything like that. And so the way that they left him on the street, on the sidewalk, when they reviewed the footage, it was over. They overdid it. And this is what's going to add a lot of time stacked up against them, man. When they went back and reviewed the footage, they seen the dude and found out what he looked like without the mask. His mask came up a little bit when he was taking his hoodie off to get a better look at the dude. And the plates came back into his friend's name, so his friend ratted him out anyways, man. And so this is why these two knuckleheads that did this to YNG Cheese, they basically got caught up so quickly because they sloppy, they so messy, they just some crash test dummies. And what people got to understand is that these dudes didn't have no jobs or nothing like that, so they ain't got nothing better to do but to like rob people and be menaces to society and everything like that. It ain't cool out there, man. People need to calm down with all that stuff, going out there trying to hit licks and running up on celebrities, kids and families and sons and everything like that. You got to understand, a lot of people have Gillie da Kid and Wallo's back in the hood. So when they find out exactly that these are the two guys, when they know their names and they put the face to the name, they're going to put a mark on their back and be a target, and they're going to forever have to live with the fact that they're going to have to pay for the consequences and the repercussions of what they did to Gillie da Kid's son, man. R.I.P. to YNG Cheese, because a lot of people know at the end of the day that Gilly and Wallo, they left that life alone, man. They no longer actually active in the streets or anything like that. Wallo learned his lesson. He did a lot of time. He came out. He tried to better himself. He started doing things legit. He was not hitting up stores or anything no more. He used to do that. That's what got him in. Gillie da Kid, he came up. He tried to better himself. He got out the streets, tried to do music. When he shifted from the music, he started doing the social media stuff. He started getting on the podcast game, and he got out the streets and everything. They was good role models and setting a good example for YNG Cheese, man. He was setting a good example for his son and everything like that. And so Gilly and Wallo was trying to make it out there and try to be as good parents as they could, because at the end of the day, they was trying to show the fact that this is what's going on. They was teaching, they was showing the kids in the hood that you could be something different than a ball player or something like a rapper, or athlete, or anything like that. And so they was doing it in a whole different way of putting it in a whole different category of the game. And Gillie da Kid's son, he was watching YNG Cheese, man. He was going to be the next up. And this is a senseless, tragic thing, man. He was only 25 years old. It was gone way too soon. This is something that should have been completely avoided. A lot of people was jealous. They hated on him. They didn't want to see him shine. There was a lot of crab in the barrel mentality. And this is why people got to clean up the neighborhoods. They got to clean up the communities and make it so people don't have to worry about all these people that's starting to hate and everything like that, man. At the end of the day, you got to send your condolences to Gillie da Kid, Wallo, and YNG Cheese. Comment, let me know what y'all think.